ETF for aton Canada be ko ye de
o bi nyame adom eja se wo bi ensunsanso ni bi ane se wie no pay launch performance tracker website and app here. You just wow show comments. A lot of people are downloading the app and all. Obi democracy and governance, accountability is very critical.
Yes.
It's Embrebiano. Sorry, Embrebiano say as a buyer no open corner first of all you account to the people. It's important. And see Obeka say ye be 2020.
Yes.
And 2024 so yeah ye be it's still work in progress. And kakra yenya enwie but yeah performance tracker that romantina make it chance better how you try and train yachini obi hwe no ka so de kokan wow show comment here a lot of people are checking and they are realizing say opa oko Google sorry nako performance tracker performance tracker oko performance tracker na bosunyane obi project a bosunyane bebre bi da babo watch some of the pictures in check so how do we know here nti and this is for they are not learning, Obi. They're not learning. They really think that we are still in 1992. And Brana, about to embrace one. Omonka here, the Omo Yan say, Omo Befia, near say jet matches. Najikaruzi, Nakotuma, Papa Copo, Kotuma Brudino. And see, some philosophy and principle, no, as a Jerry more up to now. Otherwise, how can anybody at all that has any or book a crack Ghana for this Sunyane for to say, a dear bar company were buying a young Casasa. Over to me, I can say, oh, maybe me wo and you may be a number person can buy ye, but on ye, no aboboso. So I just want to be in Cassa bar company when you know say a year completely false. Until you ain't come and be peer. And my man be you pictures here and channel, no man bobol list yamawa and go a cartoon from him. And nothing a performance tracker app no, and when he that is say, nay, you know. We show you is going to be enriched because moving forward, you know, once and pempi, I'm not can't say no. I'm about how much can away and yeshi. We are how many yeshi moving forward, you know. Nipane kasa o transfer now we viewers and listeners, you know. Omo kasa e Google e search no mo boba. So I just say. So be obeti me atena we show is aka just say so nyane airport on fan ani hu ye de obi. Bibie no obi adbeche no be hu. Nti ye da nyame ase, ye da aban ase say enye perfect. Perfect there, you can see a perfect perfect. And so a good start for a government to decide, say, a Juma Mayanomia made the better one thing. Na mama, me mom for voters and Ghana for assess no more review, me no. I think it's a big deal.
Okay.
And yeah, dear, as I say to say.
Okay.
Elsewhere in the world, you know. One of the indicators are they market the performance of the government. Even the launching of the performance tracker itself in the crowd, an indicator say this is a government that are transparent. Abaya owo bu manipa, abaya owo bu emane manfo ene beye sa dwumedi. Obi wen so yentintim ngu book mu. When say book no kura na obi bi kura ha ground to me hwe. But we no obi you can search. To the come abo district no and our constituency no wom. E be bia dey.
It will be amount.
Oh yeah.
The last time I'm more launch a performance tracker and through fact checking, it came out says some of the projects in there, no. Now and share any areas now more access our projects, no.
To be very honest with you, even Nancy Accra and we are near validation.
Yes.
Some of the issues came up like that. For example, one say I thought the institutions don't call more executive projects, so they confuse the districts.
Yes.
To say Equiapem North and Equiapem South, and Okre used to be part of Equiapem North. Until a lot of public institutions are or throw a dukruma or throw a dukrum in Equiapem North. Because Okre came, I think, in 2018. So that transition is part of it. And Ope say, delivery tracker. It came up say there was a factory. Na ewo Kansana Nankana East, ewo Kansana Nankana West, and so Abepi or Kansana Nankana East. And those are clerical, administrative things that are bound to happen. And see, it will be wrong for me to sit here or anybody to sit here and say it's not possible for such things to happen. When pay the make we have it here. So the DC quickly drew my attention. Say, oh, project we know, ewo West. Wakasena and Canal West and East. So it's possible, a very, very possible Sibia. Obako search and everyone who put you say, they be already here. What we're going to be doing is that that process continues because at the end what gather data and maybe out there IT for almost loading.
Yes.
All those things can happen. Even Excel to any CSV files. Once a load here, one row power by a mistake can affect your entire data.
Yeah.
Excel. When you mistake now was shifted one row per a data set of about 1,000 can go wrong. And see, these are things that, but the key thing is that any is square west. Any capim south, we capim north, any capim north work. And once it's identified, it will be corrected. The most critical thing is that a buying you're committed to ensure, say, at all times, you're transparent and you're accountable to the people, and will continue to improve on this process. Your wish is say all successive governments moving forward will continue on this tandem to ensure, say, at all times, you're accounted to the people. Then if say, if you download the app, now, while Chrome and our district, to me board district, now share the what buying our better now, so all the resources are the man and I am. I think it's a good thing.
And in this track, and more projects over the past 7-8 years, and
yes,
I said the last 4 years.
7-8 years, it's in there.
All the projects.
Yes, with the years, you execute projects, and the year of commencement, year of completion, even the status of the project. Because a project in an area, it be completed. It be at various stages of completion. You see all of that.
How do you react to a more? Because I think the last time, it came up. So, for a government to launch a performance tracker, people will be looking out for mega massive project. And yeah, ebia ya borehole waha, you see KVIP waha, ya way ama way mo waha. People were looking for 25-kilometer road.
Those are people who have little regard and respect for all Ghanaians everywhere. Because you see, somebody we are catch waha. You can mega projector. A mega projector. What beneficiaries? Obi nya 10,000 Ghana cedis in Skabebreo. Obi so the 10,000 Ghana cedis etofu. Obi enya 1 million Ghana cedis. Obi ene obi ka cho say me de me nya 1 million na me nye dwuma ba brabo mu biom. Obi ene me no ka so obi the 1 million achi obi. Nti mega no a very relative. For some communities, it is that borehole that they are looking for. For other communities, it is a 1 kilometer road. For another community, it is a 50-kilometer road. And me were pictures of Adenta Dodowa Road. Contractor Neguswa Oye. Yes.
Obi
Oha Ote Amren here. And then me know Obi Sana. They are all expected from Nabain and say Nabain Beye Adenta Dodowa Road
Amano, sure.
It's for such a person, so call delivery truck and also no kohu Adenta Dodowa Road. He's okay. So I just say Obi so Oha Otukuku Memli. Inti Ohu say there is a project like Rich Hospital. Obi to me
okay.
He's okay. But me tell you what has ABA me find say mega project now Dansoman, what does it got to do with me? Me mean take her, me free her. And yamasem say me ma and doesn't benefit me. Me pay me Latte Junction to Latte Town, 13-kilometer road. And I may so it may not be mega to you, but it is mega to me. Government is not accounting. I buying and you say accounted to only the affluent. And yen the pack a for ne sika for ne omomodi omhona account ya momo. Ya account ya ma Ghana ni bia ote Ghana mbie nyina akasia ne nketwa etietia ne atenten. Every Ghanaian matters and we are counting to all of them. Borehole, KVIP, WC, 6 unit classroom block, 3 unit classroom block, 1 kilometer road, 50-kilometer road, 100-kilometer road, storm drains, short bridges, big bridges, small bridges, everything, dormitory block, dining hall. Obiani dia ohia. Ni nyina so ye oman ni sika aban de ye dey. Yeah, sorry. And we have a responsibility to account to the people for it. And when you are accounting, you don't take some out. You account the small, the big, and the biggest.
But
the biggest one.
The other question would be, sir, was this built by the Ministry of Information as a Government of Ghana project tracker and as a way NPP tracker? I asked this question because buying for fraud. So buying for fraud, can the government also use this platform to also inform Ghanaians. Ghanaians bet me follow and say, okay, see, I see you following progress as a nation. There is this GOG tracker, you bet me on near project ever.
And this year buy a green book.
Okay.
And clearly, we power when him say this is a political tool. When you green book, when you blue book, when you government of Ghana project, it is a state asset. And tina, and new patriotic party executives, and a call launch here, and ministers of state. And staff from the office of the vice president, and our driving project here, our pet project, you develop it from the office of the vice president. The platform, developed from the office of the vice president to hold this. It's a state asset beyond Nana Akufo-Addo government. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's government will use, and government beyond Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's government will use. And for us, you did say, Abaya Obeba will be just 2 way out on channel. Let's just say, Unfobu Emma Ghana for. It's very important. Obi governance, or say accountability and transparency, is crucial, critical. And it's not a by way, you introduce the baby. We try the way and procurement sequence through the PPA, Ghana system, electronic. The essence of electronic and digital platforms is to ensure transparency, is to ensure accountability. And that is exactly what we are driving at. So, governments beyond this government and governments coming into the future need to continuously use the system. It's owned by the state and it's a government of Ghana project.
And a government of Ghana project. Could see saying the higher Sempa FM. Many Dennis Miracles ABOAGYE and Aidin Komo. Check with your time. 17 minutes after 4. Maybe just a message be MIA as you are aware. Yeah, WhatsApp number is very active. I'm willing to read your questions. 0548 443 523 0548 443 523. That's our WhatsApp number or messages are fabre na yebebo modern akaini nyina amamo. We say Citizen Thomas, I say Obi, good evening to you and to my adorable communications director. Obi Bawumia is a driver's mate, so he cannot be partly responsible for the state of Ghana's economy and has done his part with drone delivery system. Okay, drone delivery system, paperless port, mobile money interoperability, gold for oil, mobile money. Okay, that's digital address system and what have you. Or say he is the most hardworking vice president in the Fourth Republic. We every Citizen Thomas, somewhere in the Upper East Regional Capital of Bolgatanga, yeah, that's it. We say, Obi, why is everybody praising Ghana Gas CEO, Dr. Benasante? Obi, I'll be happy if you meet this man one on one. Okay, Ewa Ebenezer, East Legon, and Odiwe Abrain, yeah, that's it. Papa, Ewa Ebenezer. Answer about other issues. So let me deal with some few messages and then we can make progress. This one says, in that regard, Obi, ask Miracle, are they considering updating this platform with past project, irrespective of the government that did them? A good initiative in principle. I think that's a good question.
Obi, that's quite difficult, Kaka, because you know, first of all, these projects you need to validate them. And see, it makes it a bit difficult to say we'll go maybe to 92, 91, 93. To Kufuor's time, 2000. Some of these projects cry here from 2000 to 2001. You book and they book cry rehabilitating at the end. That's quite difficult. But the good thing is that we can build
at least in recent history.
We can build on
from
that.
Say 2009.
2009 school be cry you two so say boss for 2009.
But school ni see ho.
Yeah, but the point is that the relevance
and the point is, again, the same agencies now if feeding with this data no. Say a school down, for example, let's say under a district assembly, DC be out take you over. Say amount of
build the database. You should have a baseline. Sure. And a start off and a cut off point. We think it's quite fair. So we have 2017 as a start off, a start off point, and as a cut off and a take off point. Okay. At least a honor is where we can really validate and align each and every single project. So we are taking off from there. Hopefully, subsequent government will also continue from there so that we don't have this current situation in the past. So let's take off from somewhere. I mean, Ghana is still growing. 50 years from now, if we have data from 2017 getting all the way to 50 years, that would be some good work done from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Obi question would also be looking at it from the fact that if we want to make this platform an apolitical platform, past government should feel part of the platform. For example, if the NDC comes to power today, what will make them feel part of a platform
because
like this
because when you go into the platform, there's a project maybe you see that started in 2013.
Okay,
that was not completed. It's completed in 2020. It will be there. So you see a project that maybe was started in 2015 that is all completed. In fact, there are projects that started way back in 2008 that were not completed, that are completed now, that are in the system.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. You would only want to report on things that you can actually validate.
Okay.
And then you take off from there.
Okay.
And then subsequent governments can build on it from there.
Very well. Yeah, I'm running other issues because of time. Because
the data network tracker Moses here. Let me put it on record. Say apart from projects are completed, all the ones that are ongoing will be updated periodically.
As and when they are completed.
Not necessarily. It be 50%.
Okay.
In CBR, if we get maybe 70-80% completion rate, they are updated, and that's what is going to be happening with pictures, and then we'll be adding on with new projects in the let's say the count. It's a micro junction to latte kwanya nyamiadom yasha say general construction or oye and no enyamba track anim. The next update no bon say latte road from latte junction to latte will now be captured on that road. So until be I ever so jama ko use a new road on
anyways in Yamra Enra yenim say press conference the Ghana for Ekasa you spent quite a time so much time on education. Initially we started a response to John Dramani Mahama. What really was the issue?
Obi, I think say Ndra na ehun be hia pa say e be di sound common because the di kan ba yan kan ho asem ye toso mienu ba yan kan ho asem ye toso mienu ba yan kan ho asem e ehun say no baby e kono say yan hwene yan kan e be to so and in sunsunso a ewo nsem na omampenda da okeka ho no enye only on elections in sunsunso no was on the future of these young people. We're not talking about one person or 10 persons and now 50 people. We are talking about close to 3.7 million young people. And that was why we felt it was important to Ndrano who address that matter. Utie dia omampeni dada ekanya enyefe. Obi awa babedi oman nim ene abedi oman so na utumi gina ekane pete mu se nkola ekotro
Asempa FM
wase exams de nti ombo homode ne se omu wiaye nti no mutumi nya results no munyaye na obi you see only unnecessary and reckless but a big indictment and so e won kola you so because
but he referenced Wayek has had cause to complain said they are overwhelmed by examination malpractices in 2023.
Is there a year in this country where can related results are almost releasing statistics on your friend is saying
malpractices?
Is there a year? Maybe try SSC, my year was it 2002. Yeah, in science exams here try almost the same paper na 3 times. Obeka ya krumwa, oko try exams no kra da mo be try paper you make say yetwum. Nti mo nkona yasen another date. Mamika was saying in 2014, Omampeni or Kaseya or Kanasemi. In 2016, WAEC for releasing results, and a WAEC kai say examination more practices na question how I had dream and they think say it's something that we should be worried about. Till the Omampeni that our candidate at that time or say the response to WAEC for new or say the council which is WAEC is an independent international body. And so government cannot interfere in its operational affairs. But the government wishes to call on the West African Examination Council to put its house in order. It is most discouraging when students have prepared assiduously for 3 solid years, only to be confronted with incidences of examination leakages. cityfmonline.com. Story is there.
Where why no more quoting John Dramani
Mahama. 2015, 2014, 2013, 2016. Go and read everywhere. You would see issues because Obi, the only exams I can say Obi betra wunye nipa boniye for any someone in wia their computer na set question no and I didn't nipa na kwatra dem no we to ni mu na o mi o computer no so we na computer na mark nti examination malpractices, examination leakages a criminal. It is a crime just like any other crime of our country anambwa nemu in kola 400,000 control exams 400,000 control exams na say me a metro me exams e wo latte presby JHS me minimum bia me nti obi ase ansa na me kra me sua de na me fo latte pe na be poko do ansa ma be sua de na ma pass it na esa na say out 400,000 out of that no 2,000 bi ye chi omoda na ye kwa control exams so mo wie nti wo de nyina afra. That is where the problem is because you see any some family was a certificate na me copy land na bonten so na yehu say ukra was here you say credibility issues ade no cry mo mampeni ne say mo wi ansa mo tumi nya resource na mo nya no ene nkolai they are not competing only against Ghana themselves. Competition for some nkolai is not only within this country. The real competition for the NWASE students ne nkolai o mo be the global world. They are competing against people from the Europe, people from the US, people from UK, people from Asia, the Scandinavian countries near there. So you don't create credibility crisis and credibility issues for the certificate of these children as a result of crime committed by some small percentage of candidates. And then you create the impression as if say 2023 and 2024 and another breso and 2020 and exams. It's unfair. It's unfair to the children. That's the point we are making. We are not saying say examination malpractices is not there. That's not the fact. That's not the case. Exams malpractices happens. It happened under Rollins. It happened under Nkrumah. Even in the USA, online in Google. In the United States of America, they have records and issues of examination malpractices. So nobody is disputing the fact that there are examination malpractices. But Sawoka say, in college social be omobo modin bebrena omo ya there because of connivance with their teachers. Obi, that is low. That is extremely low. That is extremely poor and reckless on the part of the former president. Because you see the effect and say you may apply for schools schools in show muchum already nakasa ye bre ansa na obenya school abrochi so koye SAT koye TOEFL koye IELTS o results no yes fabra na yen hwe na validate yes niam bebre and then you have a former president adding this to it and this remains online. I want a problem no. Otherwise nobody is saying say ene obi you go trade exams ye benya nipa bonefo obi throw answers won sere ho obi the paper share na switch obi throw one. Those are things that happen. But what does it got to do with Thomas Amweni? Small boy be na or throw exams for address to Presby Senior High School na onya 8 A's no. Yeah. Enti also Thomas Amweni nya 8 A's because only the teacher for Konavi no mu wi na. But at the moment that's what you've done to him. Even though onufia ado so Presby your friend say SHS no asema o kan no waka na blanket to dey atchire no. Enti Thomas Amweni a owie school a na sika kro de be ko senior high school kro onya bi. Eye free no mpo. Or the Beko University, where you university, I saw the university on ye or free senior high school, or the Beko University on ye no. Now, I cash a fumu air door subsistence farming no. Or say, ni 8 A's now unya no. Thomas Amweni, that poor little boy, you are saying say unya 8 A's because
that's him, right?
Yes, that's Thomas Amweni. A buying effort Thomas Amweni, Emma no scholarship. Emma Thomas Amweni ko Brunel University, a hono jine, Government of Ghana scholarship. Because Yakoshiano, obi na ye interview, obi na ye ne blogger, na ye na de ne say, hey, there's a young man when you 8 A's, I will add there so. I will call add there so, OBTO, add there so senior high school. 8 A's. And I buy man scholarship, so Uncle Brunel University because I'm an exceptional student. Obi, till date, he is the top performer in his class in the UK. Until how can Akola Owia was a resource? Owia was a social, or any teacher for Cabo Muria was a social. How come say or call Brunel University no Ogusu air topic? How come so Ogusu topic? Until clearly no Obi say Yakase ye di and semna or mampeni eka in the chia. The way say Obu ye manoni and kola ni enu na bonfia. Obu om so de omun to me on their own and perform excel but in chiremu sanchiremu no ye koso no meka de enti a omampeni ebe make such statement. It is as a result of bitterness, it is as a result of envy
Why would the former president be envious?
Obeka said 2018 2019 ye implementing free senior high school no initially no almost into me later a year and okay said the baby movie ko and say I'm the quality of education above him. You remember? You remember correctly. Said the quality of education has come down because of free senior high school. You recall? Great. And now satam na nkwala nya ntro exams here. Nti we insisted said no, that is not the case because in addition to the free senior high school there were a lot of reforms they were happening. In fact, the contact hours for the children under free senior high school no increase here. Nti nkwala no teacher for no kra no omo contact hours no so we were quite sure said no. The quality or the impact that the teachers are having in the lives of the children no, were improved. But almost insisted say the only way I'll bet me a measure whether what you are teaching a student is impacting positively or not, any exams. At the moment, exams is the clear-cut, undisputed way you to me checking a collab performance in what you are teaching him. Is that the case? Nti nyame chade ye course one somewhere 2019. Ye sha say some exams. The first results and was a sterling performance. 2020 sterling performance, 2021 sterling performance, 2022 sterling performance. In fact, each of the years are free senior high school college exams more performance better than all the previous years before free senior high school. And clearly amasa ansem no mampeni that any the party for kan about what's the results amasa ansem no twem am obi ehun say yentro kontopo. Enti the ebeya na say oh I say we no kra tifie won say we akra for mienu tifie compound house. So we want to me we ya do bit we ne ba we a ne ba we ono de no nim ese ne kra ne ba no bibi obebi en ne fe na da kra yeto na ne kra ne ba na ko school ne say hey Kofi Mensah ya de o ye bona ba so we ono ne ma me omo enwi an kometimi aye eno bi na all ye no enti all he is doing no because eniwu aba okase nkwala na ya de ombetumi aye okase quality of education ne kofem okase nkwala ne performance ne kofem enti eniwu aba. And what the only thing he can do is to say omo ya de because omo wiaye because we dikira ka to what that say senka omo enwia anka omo enko we dikira ka say quality of education e kofem and results ne tire say the oka no yen no kore enti the oka ne say omo enwia anka ya de omo betumi aye den omo nya sa results no, which we find extremely disrespectful to these children. And for me, not even the children, will be the teachers. Will be the pressure there to teacher for so the pressure free senior high school, there are 2 senior high school teachers. So, the number of children that they have to contend with, sacrifices our teachers. How can you accuse a professional teacher for conniving with the student? The fact that you have 1 example or 2 examples doesn't mean say obeka teacher for ni na den afra. Now in any case, free SHS in Tina and Kolawia exams. Obi, is it because of free SHS in Tina? Yako exams a few students engage in exams more practice. 2014 na free SHS wo. But see exam more practice. 2015 na free SHS wo. See exam more practice. Me say Metro SSC as far back as 2002 na free SHS in yo, but exams more practice ebaye. Yen science paper ye twemu be 2 or 3 times. Was there free SHS? So how can you create the impression say and then in Kolano are performing because of exams more practice and it's as a result of free senior high school? But
the argument has been made say share quality, not say share exams outcomes and that is why government will be comfortable say the new curricula about accompanying textbooks and fire. But we spend money to procure past questions just to prepare students for exams. Or exams.
So let me negate it.
Now you are training Papa Bia in the
negative assertion is completely false.
How?
The children themselves have proved it as a money intro. When until recently, when have you heard say Yabetian say Ghana Niakola Harvard he's performing? Yabetian say Ghana Niakola Cambridge is performing. Manfred Girls High School, Miami beloved Manfred Girls High School, Methodist Girls High School. Omako 2019-2020 World Robotics Festival, they were top. Ewo. Sat friend say what's the exams? Brunel University ya Thomas Amoni ofia days work we. Economic was exams. Is he not performing? Rasta boy you akwa achimote ya Nancy and the Huban Assembly. Want to say we international mass and they are winning awards. Is he not performing?
But those outliers.
Outliers. And now which ones are you using to make that point? How else are you going to measure it? Which ones are you using to make that point? Saketa Senior High School for ye nei. Omu to be ba National Science and Math School is better for me amazingly. National Science and Math School is wase. So what is it? What are you talking about? It is false. It's one of me say a craft focus and be. I don't know who say nipa ni betumi why yentimi ngu fi. That is what it is. In fact, let me tell you, if there is anything at all, there is an improvement and a huge transformation in the curricula here in college is here because the current curriculum rather is the one that doesn't only take the children through pure academic chew and poor, but is actually giving them that freedom to dream, that freedom to be creative and innovative. When you say there are schools in Ghana, SSS schools are aviation courses. Aviation, SSS. They say now SSS away home accounts, where SSS away at one, where at two. You will be on your aviation. When you say be on your robotics. Only say be on engineering. That is where we are moving education to. And to be a class as nature again, a ya crachu subai ni bi. Ade no nsusu se betumi abem. Nti ni muya ne ya eni waba. Esese oji tu mu say oh ade na meka no kra ntumi amane sa nti no my ade no menke bibi ngu ho fi.
But are you saying you are not worried about the lack of textbooks?
What we are worried about every single gap and shortcomings in every aspect of our society, including chairs, textbooks, classroom, dormitory blocks. But Obi, these are always work in progress. Yeni kroma ne one te chalk, ya mamu chalk and then mamu chalk echena. Yeni kroma ne ya shorty chalk. Under John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, former president. Second lady catch school for say teacher phone to me for more music and touch chalker. And you are buying a bedroom chalk, and you are buying bromo chalk and bromo chalk echena. The video media Jackson will be to about mama. Ojiro when him open day catch him say me mamu chalk and me mamu chalk echena. Ne ukruma. So what just here? And these are all work in progress. The gap that we have in terms of infrastructure, in terms of logistics, and it should not limit us. And it should not be the reason why we will cut off some certain children. Free SHS in any textbooks. Free SHS, it your school fees pay. It your school fees and in any textbooks. We say one student, one tablet. Obi.
Or say election gimmick, more they pay vote. You know these children, some of them will be voting. And let's give them something. Having more take your parents through economic malaise. And what you can do for them is to hand them tablets just for votes.
Okay. Omampeni abedi that day. Incompetent, corrupt, failed John Mahama, His Excellency. 2016, the State of the Nation's address. Or say video no media Jackson or time will be to me about. But a lot of Ghanaians have seen it. In the State of the Nation's address in 2016, or promises or Ghana phone caller tablets and laptops. In fact, or starting years old distributing laptops and the picture also. Okay, I said some laptops. I heard the laptops and the picture.
Sure.
Not a bribe now. Until not the bribing Colano. Until I don't know who Colano so election machines and was that his intention? And the contradiction they help here. I'll say, we will provide students and teachers with free tablets loaded with relevant content to facilitate teaching and learning.
This is State of the Nation.
The way on 2020 manifesto.
Okay.
After 2016, account State of the Nation, no, was also be repeated on the 2020 manifesto. Obi, and you be as at 2016. Now all teacher laptops and the NDC for now. The pictures bobo so no. Sometimes na Ghana, yeah, how you know you are so we. And I know the man calling so the bribe you. Is that a thinking? Was that his thinking? Obi, in any case, we have over 1.3 million senior high school students. Almost send it to 1.3 senior high school students almost school. Almost do send it to Form 1 and 4 no. Be now between 16 and 17 years. Form 2 4 be now years. In fact, Form 2 4 can create now be some more cross it into 18 years. Into if you are going to find any 18-year-old in the senior high school, Form 3 4 no. I'm saying. Do 400,000. I'm saying. Into at the 2016. Utumi kofa laptop. When crampo there, laptops and tablets here the man kole. Obi a picture news wo. Wo there na wo cheche man kola no at that time no. Now picture eboso. Is that the case na or the bribe or na? We never knew until today. And then one man who says our laptops be na or cheche no. Na or the bribing kola no. September 2016, government to pilot electronic textbooks for students. and then I say relevant. It was relevant in 2016, but in 2024 now, you was smart classrooms, you was smart blackboards, you was aviation schools, you was mechanical engineering, electronic engineering schools, you was TVET workshops that almost assemble niyama ewa Ghana hano. In 2024, distribution of laptops and tablets ain't relevant. But as far back as 2016, and that chalk crying be man kola. As far back as 2016, now Afibia and kola 100,000 cattle fee because almost school there on betting mono. Now all promise tablets and if anything.
But when you put it in context, the economic challenges are a woman. We've probably never gotten here in our recent history. With this challenge, the president admitted, the vice president admitted, government senior officials admitted, communicators admitted, say we are not in normal times. When you put it in that context, his argument would make sense. No,
in the year 2015, 2016, do you know the problem with Doomsaw? The problem with Doomsaw is that we didn't have money to buy fuel to power generators. Even in that year, in that same year, we didn't have classroom blocks to house children. You can see your basic e-blocks. You to be and see you because scared debate you are crying up to now class e-blocks in year. Yes, you know, it's not a near niskenti. Ko apamenya, asasewa apamenya. E-block you could see e-blocks classrooms on dormitories in Kahon, about 10 kilometers away from town. Day school. Say Kolano surround upon 10 kilometers and some by school. You to be on dormitory block and count because in this car, Saturday you put your tablets and laptops and your man penny picture bosso What are you talking about? What are you talking about? In developing an economy, it is integrated. Obi. One can say, mean the D, Esan says to come to me. So come do, a common do, into Unia Brianna first, I would Union so first, I will know. It is something they are completely mood. It is called hypocrisy, a very hypocritical on the part of the former president. Like I'm say, any woe, Obi, any woe in the year 2023, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Ebe announced, you say, you be man colonic tablets and laptop. You saw the radical. What is that almost? Satan no man can say enya relevant. Almost say enya dia obeye. Almost say bawulaya o twantro onye. Nti omani awu. Say a few months after Bawumia announcing that day, I remember very well. I think I was in Sunyane. Na ye koye program bi won Sunyane. I was in Sunyane when Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia made this announcement. Me kai course aminyaye. In fact, me ya Facebook post to cry be chirechiremu. Almost say it is never possible. And see, they are always in the mind of impossibility. All the time, in the mind of impossibility. That is what they are always in. Almost say it is not possible. But today, and now I can say, that has been done. Yeah, the end I feel they would go hufi. I feel all of us are go hufi to the sense that what catches are they irrelevant. How do you tell us, say, are they irrelevant?
Pictures, dear Henny.
Where Mahama laptops or teacher man in 2016? Obi. Enti utumi cheche laptops e man kola 2060 wabra na ede sumu ankrofo nyuma egu sambre no na ankrofo nyuma egu sambre na chok kre ankola ni bi school na ankola ni chok school enso na cheche laptops no so wan cheche magana fo nyina o select ankrofo bi na de laptops ne yeden e momo enei ye chama ankola nyina momo nya bi ye che no 2024 year ne ye was smart classrooms and smart labs no we say enye relevant. Obi, how do you connect these two? How do you comprehend these two? And that is why for me I think say Dr. Friend say omanpeninda dano so bibi obeya omomodiana render an unqualified apology to the people of this country. Over here, let me tell you something here. Ghana and the situation women see education it's seen a lot of transformation. I can tell you without doubt. Obi, what commented this girls' high school, man?
No,
you'll be amazed. Methodist Girls High School, no, why? Open man for rural banker, a dime me look it will be a dine bububi, and a Methodist Girls High School. Go and look at the school today, Obi. And they, I'm telling you, say, a lot of girls choose man for Methodist Girls High School ahead of Wesley Girls. And they, Obi and your Wesley Girls are, or to me, find Methodist Girls High School at the same level. Jackson, show the robotics, your friend is saying picture of the Methodist Girls High School. Obi, I was an MC then. The one in 2019, the one in 2020, and today when you go to Methodist Girls High School, the girls are doing amazing things. Hear amazing things in the school. We have given an opportunity. Yama young girls we akwenya say almost so they can dream and aspire to be great. And competition omukono. Omone USA, Korea, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia and Kuala Lumpur compete you. But omu free manfe. Eko Korea, eko winning. Look at them. These are the girls, Obi. These are the girls. These are young girls who had no hope or belief of ever in their lives say they will be able to touch even robots. Manfe Girls High School kids are building robots. They are doing amazing things with plantain. They are doing amazing things with car tires. That is the kind of education that Nana Danko Ekufuado, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is building for this country. Prempeh College. And the Prempeh College, etumiko abrochire, normal winning competitions against South Korea, Japan, Thailand, Taiwan, and come back to Ghana. That is the kind of education we are building in this country. How does anybody think, say, these young girls do not deserve tablets and laptops? How does anybody, this is the Manfe Girls High School students with, I think, the American ambassador.
Yeah, ambassador.
Obi, young girls, the rich, the poor, the middle income person's daughters, they are all dreaming together, working together, and aspiring to do great things. Nankagana, yes, anyone. Yes, anyone says secondary school in Kola, equal robots, edidi agro. Obi, Ankagana, yes, anyone says secondary school in Kola, equal America, any American Kola, equal see a kind, equal computer. But yanko participate. We go and we win and bring it back to Ghana. That is the kind of your friend is saying education we are giving to the children of this country. Until we find it totally disrespectful on the part of anybody, and no mean a person than the former president, to run down these children. Until a girl you jira we ya, or your friend is say robotics, our lab, our Methodist Girls High School, and they we secondary school. Now we blow any and all A so no can West certificate. Okodu baby, yes, the credibility of your resource, no, and yet our firm because and yet any eka, my mom penny say movie as a Mourinho resource, no. That is the pain that some of us have, and that's why we are saying that this thing that the former president said is on record, and we're on record, and so we are asking that he withdraws and he apologizes to the children, so that record will also be online. It is a nipa no kopia broche mom baby na say yusu ba kona o mampeni ne kan tantan for mo na kire na we pull and so he came to apologize, he came to withdraw the statement. So it is not factual. Say indeed my resource has credibility issues.
My Yansha, you touched also on, because I think one of the issues of mampeni that reviewing the free senior high school as currently more implemented, and you spend some time on free senior high school. And I would want us to deal with that one now. Okay,
free senior high school.
Yes.
Adia Bakuntia free senior high school unsemono. Eyana NDC for kind of chart is simply because of a coin fast or omugu. That is the basic thing. Let me tell you something, and I'll take you on a journey. And if you just may just spare me some time. Obi, okay, say omampeni for you say onona ode F cube eba in reality, and don't take me out of context. F cube a constitutional mandate. Yes. But yes, say you're implementing in kakra. But we all agree in this country say on mampeni kufo ambreso. And a free, your friend is saying free compulsory universal
basic education.
Ebe reality.
Because its full implementation 10 years after the constitution coming into effect, happened at Kufo.
Yes.
ABC Kufo.
Kufo Behu said no. Apart from the fact say it's a cost barrier. If you were Magana Niba, etumiko primary and GHS, he needed to even incentivize them. And so to me, the BB Kahoma Uyenibano. Because of you, and yes, school fees in one to mean to you. A Colana Casacran or Strano Padi obeyed Nucronia day, Emano. And to afford the school feeding, any near my cake and we a day, Ebeka, or the school feeding by or the uniform scrap by man Colano near there. As a result of our action, Yakofo take ENT. And my basic school education enrollment, ekosro. Enti primary school JHS ni ade nyina no emo enrollment dey dey there was a huge surge in the basic school education at that time. So this is what happened. By the time you do 2008 no, now in fact between 2006 2007 no, now the number of children no more primary school DHS na doso. Because I feel here ni bia to be kobi because you school fees capitation aba you school fees afa school fees no so aba obi work the back school because only do not remember do fee into the crowd and be obenya school fee na edi but it brought some consequence. The same consequences here you're experiencing in through free senior high school no it happened on Akufo at the basic level when he brought FQ, brought capitation, brought school feed, you know. And Edu Baby Nakufo was struggling with infrastructure for the primary school and the junior high schools. I'm sure you remember. That was when Ode Hepix can be na a share basic school infrastructure, you know. Into Ubekaya, unam Ghana have baby, I see a school Dani atro Epic initiative. Yes, school Dani Epic initiative. Kofo had to work from behind to catch up with the numbers when it comes to basic education because no be a kwano nipa na doso school dan so no so afa communities bi kura so wa hafe de omo so mbeso mukobi school dan ko mu nibi it Kofo had to catch up quickly and make sure say we get the right infrastructure for the children now and nam sa Kofo dwumedi odi yenti na man na dan ko Kofo who say in 2008 well I say ye dia Kofo ye die se me ba bedi mampani a in swanso a metumi anya no and they say, I have to be ready for some numbers here. Every basic school near day, every senior high school. Because don't forget, we had the senior high school system. It was looking at a certain number. Now, Kofo has opened up the basic school. Numbers not dorsal, but our senior high schools were not ready. Obi, it was staring at our face. It was right there in our face. It has always been there. The crisis we went through in our senior high school infrastructure between 2017 and even up to now, no, Obi, it has always been staring at us as far back as 2008 because we are the secondary school infrastructure that was looking at a certain number at the basic level. Now, Kofo opens it up. Every poor person's child is in school. Everybody is coming to school. The numbers have gone up. Kofo had to catch up with infrastructure at the basic school, but the country was not ready at the senior high school. Forgetting say all these children who are now entering the school now more free no would have to come to secondary school. Then the Kofo realize that senipa no onisika ewo basic school nti no onko school. And that Kofo BM etu and fees man no man eduane di yenti e man ko school dia that same person no obehia mboa at the senior high school and so wetumi eden akọ it is an as a country let's make our senior high school education free. And Nana Kweku for the sad decision no take no be. It was based on empirical evidence. The empirical evidence and facts is that Kofo made basic education free and the numbers went up. What it meant is that the country's citizens of this country need help to be able to access formal education. If you give it to them, they will take it. Until let's make secondary school free so that we can receive these people. If you don't make it free, they were poor at the basic level and they still need help to be able to go to secondary school. But we didn't listen to Ekufuado. Ekufuado preached free SHS as much as possible. At the time he was preaching that NDC and John Mahama, their leader, was running adverts against free SHS. My name is Jackson. Was how we know her. Obi, if you may, almost your advert in Mako 50. Almost sponsor works. Almost sponsor health work. And sponsor protest against a policy in Yambayo. NDC for pet and to be sponsor any free education 419. This is a political party staging a protest against a policy that was not.
And wait a year.
This is 2008. A policy that has not been rolled out yet. You know, almost staging protest against it. Look at it. Look at them. Satam na policy in Yamayo, but almost year adverts any protest against it. The General Secretary of the NDC today, and Jackson, if you have that too, or say the free SHS policy. It's an all lie be lie policy. And he called a press conference to simply run down a policy and say, all lie be lie. Minim say, sound in the bar. Not gonna phone to you. Ebi a refi.
Asempa FM.
No, from a honanya.
Or say, it's an all lie be lie policy. This is him. He called a press conference. All lie be lie. The General Secretary of the party, Obi. So, uwo ekuo bi a omo ye eniamo wonsem omo di boni say against a policy that was only a proposal at the time. Clearly, no, they never wished that policy well. Fast forward. Between the year 2009 and 2016, Ghana for Amma Omampeni, Ekufado Kwayama Nambe Yomampeni, no. They are now yesro, ye fear, any worry na eba into reality. Each of the 8 years under John Mahama and the NDC, His Excellency John Mahama and the NDC, each of these years, Ghana, over 100,000 of Nkolomu basic school, no, omo to me and secondary school because of 2 reasons. And these are the reasons. And mama background though. Kofo had opened up the basic school. Every poor person's child is coming to school because they don't pay fees and they will get food to eat. Now, omo we school, or we are no. Nema mean this can still. Secondary schools here, this school fees. And nema me say, me nyesika me do me more the idea. Ako school. Inti kosuye juma. Brenye fu okoko na se. Inti, there were a lot of children whose dreams were cut short. Our children were no longer allowed to dream, Obi. In this country, the dreams and aspirations and fantasies of this children, me say, me say, me Dennis Law. A Ghana Law School professor Sadaro Mantina me say law me yebi. But not me, never me Dennis Law. Because no BSO, Chale Ude Unia, it's all your law. Until me uncles almost all Dennis Law. When I was even little, 6 years, who is a Colebians was a dream, no? I could also be near me teacher, me near me journalist, me near me pilot. But the dreams of these children were cut short simply because the country failed to prepare. But Nana Akufo-Addo warned us in 2008. He warned us. He told us that the numbers now for Ede Bano Doso, we need to put up the infrastructure and wait for them. He told us, the people who were going to that school at that time were being paid by the state and they were being fed. And Ekofo proved, say, we have to prepare for them. We didn't listen. And the NDC for 8 good years ignored these children. Enti Nkola poly over 100,000 afibia ekatrefie because they don't have money. 2, the infrastructure was not there. Enti Presec. Today, Presec is doing double the numbers they used to do. You know why? Because all Presec needed was a dormitory blocks and classroom blocks. But then
But the NDC have consistently told you, sir, Omono, they wanted to go strictly by the constitutional injunction. Say as much as possible, progressively free.
No, we don't have a problem with that.
They began with paying for day students.
We don't have a problem with that. What it means is that the NDC took a deliberate decision that let's leave 100,000 people at home until we are able to get to where the progression will get us. That's fair. That's a fair point. That's their priority. It's okay. And in fact, they still stand by it. You were doing progressive. And as a result of that, 100,000 afibia uja tenefi, but you still stuck to your guns to be progressive. Let me tell you what happens. Enti in Kwalabaya 1,005, and I choose Presec. Out of the 1,005, about 500 of them in your grade 6, and about 300 in your grade 7, and I'm up to 13, and I'm far Presec. But Presec school are dying. A bet to me from Kwala 500 pay. Inti Presec ye they are told as a principal say Presec they unya grade 6 unya grade 7 and unya kwanye den e wo ho. So that was the thinking. Presec they unya 7 8 I am foul. So I just say you know why Presec into me foul because omo munya 6 omo ye 500. Presec adan no e 500 pe. But think how the dan bi kan ho a e ma Presec and omo munya 7 8 no omo mo ye. Nkomo so betumi akọ Presec aye den ama na yeye. That is what we have done. So that's a choice. Anything that Ghana for has a decision to make between the MPP and the NDC. No, the NDC decided say every year we leave over 100,000 at home, and that's data. The MPP decided say no, let's bring everybody to go to school, and that's what we are getting. We are getting to see now. But the painful thing is that because of Sasubanya Omuda Nedi, and I only the year crowd so they say, Obi, you're about 2017 and the same year, and the Akufo-Addo free senior high school nearby. Immediately Akufo-Addo BM. Okay, say you bet mamo near Shomope. You saw the numbers. Afe Nkola omo enya interest parent of person omo the best school no a double. Ebia be ka ho. Eno na kofa ye crisis e wum sisi ayeden e ma ye no. Enti enei na kan Nkola ye betumi afa 300,000 pe ana 200,000 pe. But esa say ye no free nti. Afe ye Nkola apply 400,000. What do we do?
But you are not also making us believe say it came as a surprise to you, and numbers, no, a double.
No, it didn't. As far back as 2008.
And that's why people criticized the timing of the implementation.
We do not regret the timing because when And now on 2017, 2018, 2019, now why banco school? Why ba?
But in implementing such a policy, you should put some building blocks.
Double track.
Numbers.
Double track. No, cousin on year school. Only on year school. Ebi mu kre wie baby level 400. Yeah, you see, as a government, you must be innovative. You don't let citizens suffer because the country failed to take a decision 8 years ago. Because Ekufuor said it 8 years ago. Ekufuor said we had to prepare for them 8 years ago. NDC Bawumia 8 years, they failed to prepare for these schools. They failed to prepare for these numbers because to them, they were doing progressive and they were stuck to ensure that the basic school is strengthened and is A class before they prepare for them when they leave the basic school. And that's why we had a crisis. Obi, Okwapiman school, Efa and Kwalaba 500, Ometimi for 1,000. See, classroom blocks, any dormitory blocks, more Okwapiman school, was say, Makosi school dying for fra dormitory in Kamu. Ewa te kwayo so. Now, why the Benanti Akosa school him?
So the idea was baby a school ni one of the immediate environs, and that's why as part of that policy, Omuma school be a bus to
so why do you put a school 10 kilometers away from town?
They have a bus.
No, they don't. They don't. They don't. A bus in a phone call saying, "Over phone call 500 every day." They go school aba. School be na wagana ha. Secondary school bus they go school ba every day for free. School be na papa no cry or you poor. Obey the enye sika man the banner every day for free. It was lack of thinking, lack of planning. 8 years of 8 years of poor planning and poor thinking. 8 years of lack of innovation. You buy your numbers in the door, so no. See, I'm boy and saying we the double track, right? No be double track. I say in Kolano, naturally, oko school 3 months no amakwai. No abedi 2 months of fee. No akwa say oko school no akodi be 3 months no say amakwai. Aban say, "Sa 2 months na classroom ni mu dan no gu no." Instead of say ebema woba and ameba and obi foforo ba katene fie because you this school dan no. Wo makwan a waba fie no. Almost aka na nko mu nya school nko 8 years ago under NDC aban no. Ye mo almost kwara almost go use the same classrooms. Almost makwan na almost woko. Bode be no. Bode be, can you tell me what was wrong with double track? Can you tell me? There was absolutely nothing wrong with double track. University class AB. Now law school mu nya bi. Universities
but are you saying say because of this intervention I work as an adult at the bar because now I can't
temporary intervention
no make
double track was a temporary
make the intervention of free senior high school are you saying say because of that and then every child in Ghana will be BEC you know
every child in Ghana will be BEC or person obeko school no sika any school are dying anyhow and your reason man so uncle. It is a one qua that is one and our phone no decide on money a day and go school. That is the only difference. And canano, not there were children who were willing and ready to go to school. There were parents who were willing and ready on Mabeko school. Okay. And so that school are dining ho niska. But the no so Musa Kwalebi GSS. Now one co school. Now and yet because of school fees. Now and yet because school are dining ho. They simply because no way decided on your day, Uncle Obi. That is how you develop a country. You develop a country by creating equal opportunity for all. Develop your mind and money pack a You don't create a class system for citizens. And that is the difference. I always say that that's the difference between MPP and the NDC. MPP and the only political party in this country and the policies are affecting and impacting Obia everywhere in this country. National health insurance, who are gonna have a nebia, Ubenya Sunfaso, free senior high school, who are gonna have a nebia, Ubenya Sunfaso, free maternal care, who are gonna conebia, Ubenya Sunfaso. Every single policy I be introduced, it is one that benefits and affects every single person everywhere in this country. Ask the NDC to mention one to you. They'll tell you it's a road to crack home. Now, road in baby,
because of time, my question finally would be, say, now there are calls, mainly from the opposition, for a review of the free senior high school policy. For everything I care about this policy, you don't think, say, 7-8 years into the implementation of this policy, here proper evaluation, a review to make it better.
Okay. Free senior high school has always been reviewed. We have been reviewing it since 2017 and started implementation. Because you see, Obi, there is no program or policy that you introduce without having a review mechanism in there. That is why you be kind with free SHS now. You want double track across board. Based on, in fact, you introduce free senior high school. No, the first review was the decision to make to introduce double track. That was the first review because the original plan for free SHS double track wasn't part. But you roll it out, no. You will say numbers and also. Okay. What do? We reviewed it. We introduced double track. You introduce a double track, no. You will say okay, I see MBB reviewed it. A bank was just over $1 billion. Emma gets funds. So on CCR school dino and the dormitory blocks in almost every school. So there's no secondary school in Ghana today. Only one infrastructure or the other intervention in that school to ensure say a friend is saying in Kwalabenya de Emudayatana. And you see over 80 to 85% of secondary schools almost started double track. No? They are no longer doing double track. It's every single time as the program is running, there is a review mechanism going on. Now, the NDC's issue, the entire Omuka review and baby be some specific question is that this is a party or history of running down the policy even before a buying crab running down the policy say it cannot be done. In fact, Omuka say can be to me visa organ and can kroma ye. Neya they possible. It cannot be done because if it could be done and can kroma did it. So if they say they will review free senior high school as a policy, so program no. Only a financial intervention. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Free senior high school doesn't provide school buildings. Free senior high school doesn't provide textbooks. Free senior high school doesn't provide anything. What free senior high school does is that bill be na school fees bill be na anka school ne de bema awofo ne se monje na muntua ema momma no aban afa aban agye ayeden afa sa bill no aban agye ayeden etua amamo. But government has always, Abai at all times, has had a responsibility to build schools, to build classrooms, to provide textbooks and all of that all the time. Now, what Abai? In Kuala Eko school, normal qualifies as Omko school, all my name, Adoso. Into Wasu DNS will be provided the needed infrastructure. What this government did, which is creative and innovative and different from the NDC say, Esa ne say yensi school dining we yenti. Yeah, they are to me my free senior high school ma. MPP say CSCU ye be pekwa ye be faso ye be managing nkakra na akola bi etumi ayi enye biako. It is how ka say be review a enema mi ensape. School fees na etua. Enti school fees na etua no. We be year free ho. Se na be ya muntua ma ye biom se na be ya wo fo na nkasa betua na. That's one of the reviews you can do. Two, and ye be school fees no, and they've actually said it. They've given an indication say they think say some parents awofo ni bi betumetua nti yema muntua na yema ebumu so ye dey enje tua. All we are saying is say catch the specific thing you will do when you say review. The third thing is say obetwem amwa. These are the only three options. There's nothing more to reviewing a financial intervention. These are the only three options. It is our three options here. Emu dia hina former president Eka Hwasebi, because you see we don't trust him. The people of Ghana have little trust in him. Absolutely little trust in him. And you be say sure say review now okano say wo ba say na wo pese wo kire say the be asem me kwakoto aba na me ba e wo GHS2 na edamitiri mu say based on reviewer wo say wo de be ba no e bia wo say review no be segmentation wo be chiche na bi mu atua anya bia me no meka omo betua no ho anase me nka omo betua me pese me say be ya me kwato aba ma wa me say me to ma because oba me ka omo muntua no anase oba me ka omo metua nemo untumi nka nchem say review na me ba na beto ma akotwem na we abeka chem say but I wrote it in manifesto that I will review. You didn't ask me wona me try say me ba me review wona when bisa me say review no dey. So we are telling him, we are challenging him say whatever he means in our view based on the history, based on omusuban ne nemo amaye che fees hsnti ye clear in our minds obobetwem. There is no doubt about that because he insists say until say a basic school adan nyina wo GHS, a basic school adan nyina wo primary year no, we have no business making secondary education free. He keeps saying it. Now say ABA ma three options. They don't have a center on in Twemu. Because of the history. Say they no work o say obia. Over to me a 0 in on 1 based on the person's history and record and then the utterances and in the body language. Clearly no, on my body language it just on between because what say bibia say on Jin this is a school fees man secondary school kola. And as I won't tremus and as I obey Chichema, Mamia make a to ban say me ba me de metu ya say ba me 20 year me say me 20 year because me 20 year because me say oba metu school fees na moment that me na me koto ma me to ma wi a we say a review no che say metu man na say metu me keep sisi a metwem and also say review no che say mo amje salary up to 1,500 nyina no e say mutu school fees mo salary ye lower than 1,500 no mutu school fees and ka o ka che me ntaman ka me tuti yawo. And that is why we are asking him. So he should stop hiding. He should stop hiding behind the technical term review and ensure, say, or better what the review means. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is clear. Or say, me ba, men touch free senior high school. A friend say free senior high school policy. Because free senior high school policy, they are say, be honest, say, I will put you on me, that doesn't take away Dr. Bawumia's responsibility of ensuring, say, obey a friend is saying obey school dying of ensuring say obey provide textbooks of ensuring say obey provide truck near there. But Mahmoud Bawumia is saying obey to us. He is committed to the transformational agenda of the education in this country. Obi Kokwabenya Jackson Cheme Kwabeja KG. That is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is coming to elevate. And then KG is a yesi wa my way muno strong. We are building state of the art KG. Kwakwabenya natural Kwabenya for let's show, and these are not green book. And I say when you 3D impression, a classroom block, and then no say, this is Kwabenya Obi.
Kwabenya
KG block. Obi, look at that.
Is it a private school?
Public school, Obi. This is a government of Ghana. A buying KG block.
And the more I'm share on YouTube
and
a Facebook Live, no, you would say, also way or
Kwabenya and then
attached to a primary school, be
yes, and Kolea school upon. I'm not school and upon Obi. Obi, I no pay. Look at the KG block. This is a public school, a private school. This is a public school built by government of Ghana. Omo use smart blackboards.
Kwabenya atomic.
Yes. Omo what? Oh, I will quite no pay runabout. Wa I won't say si ho. Si ho right. Obi. Omo use smart. Inkola de to Ghana fomba. Obi wo ha ne ma meton pure water e wo ka kwan ho. Obi wo ha ne papa eton kube e wo kwan ho. Obi. These children are
how many of these schools there?
We are building several of them across the country. This is where we are going now. This is the kind of KG blocks we are building at the moment across Ghana. Obi, and this is a government public school. This is where we are taking. Look at this young boy. He's being given an opportunity to stand a chance to compete against Jomama Manomoko GIS. He's been given that opportunity. Yamana Kwenya so also best stand a chance to compete. Look at their screens. Omo projectors or omo classroom block. Do you need your mama? Events and I for the pictures in the board. These are things that are happening in Ghana today. Akola we no and they
where a public school.
Public KG block ewo Ghana Kwabenya Obi.
And there is just one of this in Ghana.
No! Several of them and they are being built. Several of them.
And we no more for now.
Yes. And it's being occupied. And these are the kind of school Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is going to continue to build from 2025. Jackson, show the model GHS block.
And that will be our final near the
Obi, unye hu TVET no, unye hu STEM schools no. Unye hu abomosu, unye hu the STEM school Jackson, show the GHS model block please. Obi, we have moved on. This country is moving on from the L-shaped a friend is a rectangular.
Where they?
Where a junior high secondary school built by the Republic of Ghana. These are the kind of junior high schools we are building now.
Where is this one?
This particular one here.
But this is a GOG project?
Yes, Government of Ghana. Government of Ghana, Obi. Government of Ghana. Government of Ghana. These are the kind of schools we are building. And this is where we are taking this country. And we need to finish this, Obi. The same way I could first start here, say, oh yeah, you better truncate here. I better say, Obi, we have to protect this. Ghana Fonkola, they also deserve classroom blocks like this, Obi. They also deserve classroom blocks like this. Jackson, show the Accra, your friend is saying, the TVET center, the STEM center. Bakuya wo Shiashi. Show the STEM center. Bakuya wo Shiashi. Show that one. Obi, this is what we are getting to. And this is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is coming to protect. This is where we are going to, Obi. This is where the country is going to. Our children deserve to be part of this. This is a TVET workshop. and can no not technical vocational school we school sabe nkwala abon e de omko so ya we that's way one year dey kwen kwafano vocational school and they na as at 2016 na enrollment e we TV schools no e about 46,000 and they over 150,000. This is not Japan, this is not Korea, this is not friend is saying Indonesia and Germany, and your Benz workshop in you when your friend is a BMW workshop, where your TVET workshop in the Republic of Ghana. Obi, this is where this government is taking education. Yeah, and your school can ECCU. We are transforming education in this country. We are ensuring, say, show me kwadaso, show me kwadaso, be a kwadaso, mami. Obi, you see Creative Arts Senior High School. What be that? Creative Arts Senior High School. Senior High School, ukomua straight away. Now we see Creative Arts.
The workshops when vocational schools and
yes,
technical
schools. And look at the several of them. Obi. Several.
And building Baini, Creative Arts School.
Creative Arts School, where kwadaso. School ukomua now we Creative Arts. We see Creative Arts at the Senior High School. At the Senior High School, Obi, this is in Kwadaso. At the Senior High School, this is in Kwadaso. So I just say, I didn't know so I'm not far from it. So this is where we are moving this country towards, Obi, and this must be protected. This must be protected, Obi. At all costs, the people of Ghana, we must come together and protect this 21st century education. That is what we are building for this country, Obi. Share, Oko Accra girls are. Obi, mami tweet your awesome because we person Okra Accra girls are. Your STEM center and there be 250 young girls. Okay. Science, technology, and engineering and mathematics. In Kolei Baho, Ebesua robotics, artificial intelligence, Ebesua coding, any idea in these schools, Obi. In these schools. This is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is saying. Say, we need to prepare our children. Obi, sa Oma akwalane tablet. Oma akwalane tablet or kwabenya KG. By the time we do senior high school and Sabeka tablet, no ni Japan for no, compete. E we are saying na mano ebemuno. Obi, when you university, this is a STEM school, a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics school. And Obi, let me tell you something about this school. Oko school we mo, unim courses omo ye, aviation, aeronautics, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, auto mechanic engineering. That is what they do.
Senior high school.
Yes, a senior high school. So say I senior high school, so we say me here home econs, me here as one, me here business soon.
Okay.
We are building engineers from the senior high school. That is where we are taking education.
Me that's a
I'm making sure that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will become president in 2025. It is for him to come and complete this that we have started and move Ghana into the future and be ready for the fourth industrial revolution. Obi, yet to be my mano and catch. Our children must be competitive in the world that is ahead of us.
It's completely false the claim that 80% schools are not on double track. On the contrary, about 90% of SHSs are still doing double track. Only 2 levels out of the 3 are in school at every point in time. These schools cannot contain all Form 1 to Form 3 students. Again, Bawumia in his media engagement at UPSA promised the review or into bracket improve the free SHS. President John Mahama has promised that in his first 100 days, the new NDC government will call a conference of all stakeholders in the educational sector to review all policies on education with greater emphasis on free senior high school. And
the key thing is that as we speak, the double track system that we started now has been phased out. We have just about 20% of the schools who are still doing it. And gradually government is providing the infrastructure to phase it out. Whatever it takes, keep every Ghanaian child in the classroom and not allow money and infrastructure to keep them on the streets like they did under Boja Jemfi's tenure. This government will continue to do it. And we will not stop, no matter how much no matter how much no matter how much we'll continue to ensure we push these children so they can achieve their dream. Let me fantasy.
I read somewhere, despite the watch saying, I read somewhere, Edu Watch published a story about 2.3 million kids in Ghana have no desks at school.
We'll provide it for them.
That is a problem.
It is all work in progress. They will also be provided with desks. They will still be in school and they will ensure that they are studying. The point is that we will not allow any of these challenges to keep any child at home, whatever it takes. We'll provide them with tablets. We'll provide them with all the things they need
okay.
so they can be competitive. Maybe go University of Ghana 4 years, we be 3 years as a mean laptop them in Sakebi.
Miracles, yeah, that's it. Best in the we could see saying Sunny a higher senpai. If Miracles